The drama surrounding Islam Makachev's rise to double champion status has shaken the MMA world like an earthquake that nobody saw coming. After dismantling Jack Della Maddalena with a performance so dominant it silenced an entire arena, Islam became a two-division UFC champion, and immediately the conversation shifted. The question was no longer about whether he deserved the throne. The only debate now was who could possibly take it from him. Fans, analysts, and former champions split into two camps almost instantly, each backing a different warrior they believed had the style, the strength, and the heart to crack the puzzle that Islam has become. On one side stood Kamaru Usman, the longtime welterweight king whose elite wrestling and championship pedigree made him a threat unlike any other. On the other side rose Ilia Topuria, the explosive lightweight champion who has taken the sport by storm with speed, chaos, and the kind of fearless confidence rarely seen in modern MMA. Between these two candidates, the world waited for an answer. Alex Volkanovski, one of the only fighters who ever pushed Islam to his breaking point, did not hesitate to weigh in. For him, the toughest matchup for Islam was Usman, pointing to the Nigerian's incredible durability and the way he held his own against middleweight powerhouse Khamzat Chimaev. Volkanovski understood firsthand what it felt like to stand in front of Islam, to feel the pressure, the strength, the suffocating pace. He believed Usman's discipline, size, and technical maturity made him the most dangerous opponent available. But not everyone agreed. Demetrius Johnson, one of the most gifted fighters in the history of the sport, leaned in the opposite direction. He wanted to see Islam versus Ilia Topuria more than any other matchup, convinced that the sheer unpredictability of Ilia's style, the explosiveness of his hands, and the chaos he brings into every exchange could force a fight unlike anything Islam has dealt with in years. And as all of this unfolded, Shavkat Rakhmonov stepped forward, refreshing the world's memory of what he brings to the table. Undefeated, massive, and one of the most complete fighters the welterweight division has ever produced, Shavkat reminded everyone that he, too, stands at the door of greatness. With his size, grappling dominance, and growing reputation, he made it clear that he has every right to call himself the future of 170. The landscape had become crowded with contenders, each one presenting a different threat, yet all roads still pointed to the new king sitting on top of two divisions. As Islam absorbed the noise, Ilia Topuria took the stage in the way only he could. Seconds after Islam's victory, the lightweight champ wasted no time unleashing a verbal assault that stirred the entire internet. He questioned Jack's preparation, dismissed the performance, and promised to put Islam to sleep. It was bold, it was fiery, and it was exactly the kind of provocation that electrifies MMA fans. And Islam, calm as always, accepted the call-out without hesitation. He promised he was healthy, ready, and willing to fight whoever came next. His tone never changed. His message never wavered. He welcomed the challenge, confident that his style would dismantle anyone who stepped forward. Yet beneath the hype, a more calculated discussion was unfolding. Islam's manager, Ali Abdelaziz, revealed that Kamaru Usman was the frontrunner for the next welterweight title shot. In his eyes, Usman offered the toughest stylistic matchup for Islam, and he believed the legacy of such a fight would be monumental. Two disciplined, high-level wrestlers with championship DNA meeting in the cage was an opportunity too significant to ignore. The combination of wrestling, experience, and championship mentality made Usman a logical and dangerous choice. For Islam, this fight would not only define him as a double champ but solidify his bid for future greatness. Meanwhile, the night held more drama than just the championship fight. As the world processed Islam's win, a chaotic brawl erupted cageside when Islam's teammate, John Poor, clashed with Dylan Dennis. The scene descended into a frenzy as security rushed in to separate them, with John landing heavy strikes and Dennis being dragged out of the arena. The fallout was swift, leading to Dennis being banned from future UFC events and intensifying the rivalry between the two camps. When Islam was asked about the altercation, he delivered a sharp reminder that words carry consequences and that disrespect eventually gets answered. Elsewhere, reactions poured in from across the sport. Khamzat Chimaev, who openly dreamed of becoming Russia's first two-division champion, reacted with surprising grace. There was no bitterness, no envy. He congratulated Islam sincerely and acknowledged the moment as a monumental achievement for their country. For someone as competitive as Chimaev, that level of respect spoke volumes. And as the dust settled, another storyline began to emerge. Dana White hinted that Islam Makachev might headline the historic UFC White House card, an event that could become one of the most iconic in the organization's history. Dana made it clear the card would not be America versus the world, but rather the strongest matchups the UFC could possibly build. With both Islam and Topuria expressing interest in fighting at the White House and Usman's strong ties to Florida, the possibilities exploded. It left fans wondering whether the next title fight would be Islam versus Usman, Islam versus Topuria, or perhaps something even more unexpected. The entire MMA world now stands at a crossroads. Some believe Usman's strength, wrestling, and championship IQ pose the greatest threat to Islam's reign. Others see Ilia's unpredictability, his fearlessness, and his explosive style as the perfect recipe for an upset. And a growing number refuse to overlook Shavkat, whose silent dominance continues to loom over the division. The double champ era has officially begun, and with it comes a rush of anticipation unlike anything fans have experienced in years. The king has been crowned, but now the hunt begins to find the warrior capable of dethroning him. As the conversation spreads across the globe, fans are left wondering not just who deserves the next shot, but who is truly capable of surviving the storm that Islam Makachev brings every time he steps into the cage. The questions are louder than ever, the opinions more divided, and the stakes impossibly high. The MMA world is watching, waiting, and speculating about who will step forward and whether Islam's reign can be broken. If you enjoyed this breakdown, let me ask you, who do you believe has what it takes to dethrone Islam Makachev? Do you see Usman's wrestling, Topuria's explosiveness, or Shavkat's size as the answer? Share your thoughts in the comments, and if you want more deep-dive MMA stories like this one, make sure to like, subscribe, and join the discussion as we continue exploring the biggest moments shaping the fight game today.